Dude, the terps are so good that I keep taking bigger dabs of this stuff, and it's like now this is sat out, like it's like the terp profile just gets stronger. It's like a half melted gummy. I fucking love it, dude. It's well, here we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 76 of 77. Jesus, so many hours of me talking. It's silly. Welcome to episode 77 of the podcast. My name's Evan. If you've never hung out with us, basically what this is a 1 hour rant. Talk about glass, talk about different pipes, function, talk a little bit about life, running a business, all sorts of stuff. If you guys want to keep up to date on our drops, everything we're doing, make sure you sign up for our newsletter at bmsglass.com. And that way you can see everything we're doing. You get email notifications about it. Today's episode, I'm just going to smoke some hash and chill. And because I got to go out of town tomorrow for a funeral, and I really don't want to go back to New York. I moved away from New York 8 years ago to Colorado to just be a glassblower and live this lifestyle. And I've only been back to visit twice. So I'm definitely not excited to go back, especially under the circumstances. But we're going to make it happen. Man, those Slurpees on these double diffuse. Perfect together. Wow. That fucking hash from Green Dot, that fatso. I got some of this live rosin from Green Dot. This is some of the best hash I've smoked in a seriously long time. Everything from the execution to the genetics, everything. It's just incredible stuff. Smoke through it really quick though, just because it's so tasty and such a pleasant experience. Each hit of it, just because I don't know. It's for me, it's the perfect high, perfect flavor profile, everything. It's really gassy, kind of hazelnut, warm terps. It's really nice, full OG. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes you take a hit of certain things, and if you've smoked a lot of different flavors, you'll notice, oh, that tastes good, but it's missing something. Well, this is the type of strain that just has everything. Abundance of flavor and strength and just overall experience, how smooth it is to smoke. Fatso from Greta. Oh my goodness. What a treat. I'm going to miss that while I'm in fucking New York, just shredding pens. Just fucking smoking pens. God, I hate it. But honestly, it's better than nothing. And it's way better than it was years ago. I would have killed for one of those pens 5-6 years ago. Nowadays, the quality of the hash and the pens I smoke are Green Dot too. Big fan of everything Green Dot does. So I try to support them heavily, go to my local dispensary and scoop as much as I can when I can, because it's all such high quality. Oh my goodness, last Sunday sale. Thank you again, everyone. If any of you watching this supported on that last one, thank you so much. That was just nuts. I still get nervous each sale. I'm like, man, is this going to be the one where people don't buy anything? But man, it's I never see I only see maybe 20% of the pieces ever posted on Instagram too. I'm there must just be a lot of buyers that buy it and they just smoke it personally. They're not posting it on Instagram or whatever. They're not getting wild and putting videos of them doing drugs on the internet like a lot of us do. I make hour videos of myself doing it. It's crazy. But no, I'm stoked. It was a not a huge sale, but it was still 40 something pieces. So I know that's still kind of big. It's perspective, you know what I mean? It's always a perspective thing. But I'm stoked on that. We will have a big one before Christmas though, a really big one that should be pretty legendary. I've been working on bubblers and stuff, trying to have, variety and some different things. Definitely have the colored micros, more 14 mils. I dropped some 14 mils this past Sunday sale. People scooped them up right away. I'm going to do some more of them. and our unique like color blends and stuff. So there'll be hopefully quite a bit of variety. I should have about 3-4 weeks to like, or at least 3 weeks to crush, which should give me the opportunity to get a good amount of glass made because I don't fucking sleep very much. I crush an insane amount of hours so that I'm able to try to provide my best work and make it as available as possible. Because if I'm only making 3-4 pieces a month, like a lot of people keep it, because it's a totally different thing. But my glass just wouldn't be available, and it's hard to like realistically, if you're selling pieces that are like $500, $600, like I sell stuff that's expensive too. But like I've said a million times, like 70-80% of the glass I sell is between $500 and $750. So if I was only making like, 4 of those a month, I wouldn't even be able to pay for the cost of the gas to turn the torches on, or let alone the power and everything else. So that's why I have to like crush really hard and make sure that I have my glass available so that we can continue to grow everything we're trying to do here. It's a process, but I love the process. I think it's the funnest part. I'm not even sure if when I get to like whatever the goal is, like that I'll truly feel like, oh, this is what I did it all for. They say it's like it's about the journey, not the destination or some shit. I have no idea, but I think that's pretty true. Because I mean, realistically, you want to take your time getting to the destination, make the journey last as long as possible. It's the weird thing about the human body and brain is that you're going to live longer the longer you're trying to climb up that hill. As soon as you make it to your destination, I feel like your body just slowly starts breaking down quicker. I said slowly and quicker in the same sentence, but my point is that it's just like when you reproduce, like your body creates less testosterone once you have kids, because it's like, oh, you did what you're supposed to do, you reproduced. And just like in your mind, if you feel like you've reached your goal, then maybe that's when like you stop creating new neural pathways in your brain, and your brain just slowly starts working less and less efficiently. Who knows? So I'm trying to keep climbing though, because I feel like the journey is what's going to give me longevity. But we will see. Not that I'm trying to like live forever or anything, but trying to make sure that I can support all the people I care about as long as possible and have a good quality of life at the same time, which is a tough balance, I must say. When you're trying to build something and work really hard, yet maintain a quality of life that's balanced and healthy and, still full of free time and hobbies, it's challenging. What I've realized though is I really love what I do. That's because me and my wife sit down and we're like, man, we don't have any hobbies, we don't do anything. Sometimes we feel a little down on ourselves. And just lately, it's just like I've tried to like keep reminding myself if I ever feel like that, if I ever feel like I'm not doing enough, that it's like I do what I love to do. Like I am doing my hobby. My hobby, my passion, everything just happens to be one thing, which is how convenient for me that everything falls into the one category of glass blowing. It's the way I pay my bills, it's my hobby, it's my passion, it's my work, it's everything, I feel lucky. So it's like trying to change my perspective day to day. You know what I mean? We all go through it. Those constant changes of emotions depending on what situations you are in day to day. Like you could have all your bills paid, but yet you're still bummed out that day. And it's like, why? It's like, well, circumstances of today are bumming me the fuck out. So I'm just trying to change my perspective so I don't get caught up in those patterns of, being bummed out or feeling bad for myself or some shit because it's not necessary. It's not like I wonder like what evolutionary purpose that really had. Oh my god, I can't grab these fucking pearls. Oh, no, too high. Already. But I wonder what type of like cuz like everything we like have if you believe in like the theory of evolution is like had a purpose. It's like, oh, like we were scared of things so that like we knew like when not to risk our like selves so we wouldn't get hurt so we'd live longer, or we have thumbs so that we can do this. It's like what purpose did like I don't know, feeling bad for yourself give you? Maybe that falls into the fear category though. I smoked too much hash to get into that this morning though, and I've only taken 2 dabs today. My first dab wasn't the first one on the podcast. I took a dab with my wife this morning. She was like, "I need a dab," because this lady's been stressing and dealing with a lot. Smoking a 2014 micro EHJ or nano EHJ. I think there was only 6 nanos ever made. There was I believe 16 micros and then 19 full size. There's 3 different categories of exploded honey jars. They all had these like little, back in the day we had an E-Now. I called it an E-Now kickstand. It's basically just this little like foot of glass that comes off the bottom of the joint there to add like more stability when the E-Nail's on the piece. So this was like a tiny piece you could put an E-Nail on and it wouldn't tip over or anything because it had that little bit of support there. I mean, I think it would tip over if you like were to like have the needle E-Nail to like the mouthpiece side and then you hit it. But like if you don't like knock into it, it stands just perfectly fine with an E-Nail in it. I'm gonna make the best of it in New York though. Just gonna try and be positive for my wife. I'm gonna speak at her grandma's funeral, even if like, like I don't know who's all gonna be there. Like our family's pretty small and a bit shattered, so who knows? It might just be us there. But either way, I'm gonna fucking just step up and be there for the family. Always. God, there's been some other stuff happening in the background that I won't talk about in the podcast, but I swear, guys, it's like one thing after another. And the only thing I can tell myself is there must be, like, it must be because I tell my wife, I'm like, every time we sell out a Sunday sale, something bad happens. I was like, I'm convinced that, like, yin and yang, like, if I want to sell out glass and have people support me this heavily, then I better be prepared for the negative things that come along with it, like random events. It's all things happening to my family too, on all different sides. It's like, what the fuck? And it could just be the current climate. But either way, I'm like, Jesus, this shit's got to slow down eventually. It's okay though. Got some White Legends OG here, which is Legends OG times the white. I guess that's pretty fucking. Is this a Legends OG too? Yeah. Fatso is GMO times Legends OG. And this is Legends OG times the white. So I didn't even realize that from 2 different companies I have Legend OG crosses. I must like that terp. But this one's a little different. This is the Lava Rosin from Laser Cat. It's way more of a jelly consistency, not so much like a butter, but also really, really good. And I love that you can leave it out of the fridge and don't have to worry about it drying up. It stays nice and juicy and terpy. Let's wait for this nail to cool down. I had a fucking recently had an FBI agent come to my house or to my door. It was really, really weird. Like I opened the door and he presented all his criteria information to prove who he was or whatever. And he was like asking me, did I tell you about this, Aja? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, because this happened. I wanted to talk about it in the last podcast, but I forgot to. Did too many weeds. But yeah, let me do some more weeds and I'll try to talk about this. I should be careful with this. I got a lot to do today. It is what it is, really. I'll just be really stoned today. I'll get it all done. Just really stoned. All right, I haven't hit this little ass rig in forever, so let's see what happens. Wow. Whoa. Through a tidy rig. Let's get the bike back over here. Sorry. Whoa. Man, I used to make such small rigs. Everything's gotten bigger. Kind of like me in the last 3 months. Lost a bunch of weight, gained a bunch of weight. But I feel like I'm like a fucking bear in the winter. Like I literally, once winter starts coming, I start packing on weight, and I could barely be eating anything. I feel like it's just genetically, wherever my I know where my blood like genetics are from. So where it's from, like cold place, need to pack on the fat in the winter, survive, and that's what I'm gonna tell myself as I eat a bag of Doritos. I'm like, oh, this is because I'm getting ready for these long winter months, and I'm living in the north, but really it's delusion. But makes me feel better, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Wow. Okay, so The difference on these two Legends OG blends, I guess, they're like, I don't know if they're a cross. I think they're a mix of two things, but maybe it's a cross. They're probably crosses. The green dot's definitely a cross. Like it's not like they're not mixed in terps. I don't know about Laser Cat. I'm not too familiar with how they do their rosin, but I know green dot is very specific how they do their strains and how they grow it in genetics. The green dot one has this characteristic that I don't see a lot in hash, at least anymore. And I feel like I used to see it a little bit more back in the day, and that could be more of a genetic thing, not a processing thing at all. There's just like a certain part of the terpene profile, especially of this fatso, that reminds me of the way like golden goat or a haze would hit. And I'm not saying this tastes lemons or hazy at all. It just has like this certain like bite and crispiness to it that's like super fresh. But this is like really heavy, like OG, like fuel gasoline terps. And I'm not saying gas like it's really good. I'm saying like gasoline, like when you smell gas at a gas pump, that's like how this tastes with like kind of like nutty hazelnut overtones. It's like, or undertones, actually, I'd say. Don't actually, what's the difference between an under and an overtone? I don't know. I have no idea. You're a chef? Dude, fuck. That's one thing I want to talk to like Aisha about here eventually when hopefully next year in 2022 we can do an event and I'd love to like hire Aisha to make a fucking menu for us and do like a private dinner where everyone pays for a ticket. So we pay like Aisha super good for a fire meal and then maybe each ticket comes with like a piece that's like dated for that specific Bearmount Studios dinner. So that like we'll do like one a year. So like the dinner pieces are collectible. I don't know. We and my wife have been trying to talk about ideas how we can do some sort of collector appreciation events or parties in the future. So ideas, but leave some comments below if you guys got some ideas. Happy to work on this together. Wow, the hash. It's incredibly smooth. Oh, FBI. This is my guy. See, I just like wants to know. See, I told you I might get too high and forget to talk about it again because it kind of scared the shit out of me. So this FBI agent was at my door, and I talked to him, and so he goes, "Hey," like, and the first thing in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, so we're not gonna be able to blow glass anymore, or like, they're like, oh, like we've confiscated all these pieces out of the mail, like, whatever. Not saying anything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is legal. Tobacco use only. This is all concentrated tobacco products. Um, but it's like I don't know. I got really worried and freaked out. Whatever. But he talked pretty quick because he obviously was like going door to door. He wasn't coming just to see me. He was just talking to neighbors in the area. So because I guess back in May, my neighbor, this guy Christian, he was a military like recruiter and the nicest fucking dude. He like cleaned up the whole property because like the people who lived in the house before him were like um, they didn't have a lot of money, and the lady was really old, and I don't think she had a lot of people to take care of when she got sick. She passed away in the house. House got kind of like run down. Christian bought it. He fixed up the house, made it really nice, looked beautiful. So all the neighbors, we've all been stoked. I think he's like 31. He's like my age. Well, I guess back in May he took his own life. Not trying to make it heavy. So Christian passed away. Super bummer. Super sweet guy. Hardworking. He was taking care of other military guys that were coming here from out of state that were like being recruited that didn't quite have a place yet. He let them stay, I believe, at his house for like a month or so until they found an apartment and whatever. But it was crazy because I remember the night where all the police were out there and fire trucks was like, damn, did Christian have like a party? Because it was like a Friday and I was like, oh, like it must have been a party because it was like after 10:30. I was like, maybe he's kicking someone out or something. But it seemed like a lot of police and like ambulances and fire trucks and shit for like, someone getting kicked out of a party. But I was like, oh, whatever. And then we didn't see Christian for like the whole summer, and we were like, man, where the fuck is he? I haven't seen him because usually I talk to him. Like he'll pop in, he'll like stop at a studio. Like his dog Halo gets out all the time, so I'll get his dog, bring Halo back over, or my daughter throws a ball over his fence, and we go knock on the door. Just someone we would see all the time. At least we did for about a year when he owned the house. And but I guess this FBI agent came because he was like, there's I guess new information that they have. Like the local police closed the case as a suicide, but the family or someone or some new information popped up that now they're reopening it, but they can't do it. I guess through local police, it's because he was killed with a military weapon, and his rank and everything, and now it's a federal case or something. But yeah, stressed me and sketched me out. And then the other night, my wife heard like some gunshots, woke me up. She's like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "I heard gunshots." And in my head, I'm like, I'm so tired, you know? So I just want to go to sleep. And I was also like, I keep telling him, like, Christian passed away in May. Like, who's shooting at what now? Like, why would there be more gunshots? But whatever, it was freaky, you know, just having. I've had police come to my house multiple times, never for me or anything, but always for like there was one neighbor we had, like the neighborhood I live in, I think is pretty nice, but it's like all normal ass people, and like some people got some shit going on, like and but all like normal like hardworking people. But so one of my neighbors on the corner was like selling drugs or something, and so like I had like police come to my house like asking questions about them. I don't know. It's weird, but all that's chilled out at this point, which is cool. But I'm sure a lot of people watching this have these same stories about their neighborhoods and shit. Unless you live in like some like really nice HOA neighborhood, which if you do, fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. Like, but not where I live. I love my neighborhood though, because I love how cool everyone is and normal. Like, everyone's like retired military. There's retired police officers on my street and shit, but they all like me. They think it's dope. Everybody wants glass. Like, even if they're military or retired police, it's crazy. Like, it seems like once they're out of that, like, working for the government shit, like, they're just, like, about that, like, weed lifestyle. At least the people I've run into. But maybe that's just who gravitates towards me because I blow glass with my fucking garage door open. So my neighbors just see, like, all of us out here with fire and fucking lathes spinning and shit. And they're like, what the hell is going on over there? First 3 years of living here, I didn't open the garage. I didn't want anyone to know. I was like, I don't want anything to happen, like, cause I couldn't. I got this house and I couldn't afford it. Like, I literally had to buy a house because I couldn't afford rent anymore in Denver. Like, the house I was renting in Denver, and I had a studio in the basement and shit. It was like with utilities, it was like 2,700 a month. It's almost $3,000 a month. I wasn't making money like that. Like, I didn't have money, and I had roommates, but then like unfortunately, like all my roommates moved out, and I was left with the bill. So I was like, damn. Um, so I had to get out of that house, and like then we started looking at buying a house, and a mortgage for a house with like a decent sized garage was like half the cost of renting. Like the mortgage was like 1,500 bucks a month compared to like 27. So we essentially bought the house, and this house we're in, this garage, just because it was like more affordable than renting. But like buying a house is so fucking hard. Like you need so much paperwork. So we had like so many co-signers because everyone we had co-signing, like no one had money. People just like had houses they could put up. So it was just so complicated. But at this point, I've worked really hard to get everyone off my loan. I'm solely me now. It's a 15-year loan, and so I've tightened everything up. But it was really scary for a while, so I didn't want to blow glass in my garage door open for the first 3 years here because I was like, if someone comes in and tells me I can't do something, like I'm gonna lose everything. It's over. Like everything's gonna get fucked up. Someone might lose their house because of me. Like I'll lose this house. Like fuck, it was just so crazy. And like I got to remember that stuff because sometimes I get too comfortable and I forget that like a lot of the things that have happened is because I took a risk and I had to do it. Like I was forced to take the risk because there was no other path but to it was almost like I was like climbing a tree and it's on fire below me. There's only one way. I just got to keep climbing and hope there's some way out at the fucking top of this burning tree. But yeah, I don't know. Should probably take another dab. But this thing, this thing kind of fucking ripped my face off a little bit. I used to smoke this so much. There's a handful of people out there who have them. I posted it this morning. I had people reaching out to me, showing me theirs that they've had just been chilling in Pelican because some of the original work, it's like, this is 2014. I'd been blowing glass for, I think, a year and 3 months when I made this. And I don't know. Things been through a lot. Someone's dropped it and broken it before. It's been repaired. It's just a lot of pieces. See, I don't get rid of stuff. Even my early pieces I bought from other artists, I don't sell any of the shit I buy because to me, there's like memories trapped like within each piece. Like I see these physical objects that when I see them, it triggers some part of my brain that I go, oh, here's a memory I forgot I had. It was like trapped, somewhere in my brain, and the key to that memory was this object. And a lot of them are pipes for me. But that's the only way I can remember some of these times, though, is because, everything gets a little hazy. You get a little stoned. But then you see a pipe, and then you get like this vivid memory of that time, or maybe you get a feeling or an emotion you haven't had for years, because growing up or working hard, you sometimes lose track of just like being like a normal person. You're just a fucking workaholic. That happens to some of us, not all of us. But these objects I see and shit just bring back memories for me and stuff. So I don't sell anything. I have too many memories tied up in every single piece. So, but at the same time, like I'm also not the type of person that buys and sells stuff to make money. I don't know how to do that. So there's lots of different layers to buying glass. You know what I'm saying? And collecting glass. Like some people, you can use glass as investments and use each piece you buy, as long as it still has value when you resell it, as like stepping stones to get to that next super heady piece. Like maybe you buy a $500 piece, you sell it a few months later for like $500, but you've already saved another 500. Now you can buy $1,000 piece, and then you keep doing that, and all of a sudden now you got a $4,000 piece. That's your dream piece. So there's layers to it. But for me, I was never buying glass like that. I just didn't have that type of mind. Like I was like good at like talking and selling stuff, but I never had the eye for things where I'd see something like, ooh, I could make money on that. I wish I had that. I'm sure that I would have found an easier path to being successful. But I love what I'm doing. I like how challenging it is, how much work it is. Yeah. The fucking quality of this hash, though, let me tell you. I'm like thinking about taking another dab. I wish there was almost like, this is going to sound bad, but I'm like super sleep deprived too. When you are sleep deprived, the THC hits in a different way. I sometimes wish there was hash that tasted this good, but you could have like a reduced THC level so you could take more dabs of it and still like function. Like I'd love to be taking dabs like I smoke joints, and like I can do that, but I won't function at a efficient level. I'll be really stoned, like, and it won't be like it'll be hard for me to like produce the work I want to produce because I'll just be so like distracted. Like, it is what it is. I know who I am. I know like how I function with certain things. But my point is, I wish there was almost like a fucking like just hash this quality and flavor just with like lower THC, so you could just like smoke a whole gram of it and be like stoned, but not like fucking like I need to go like lay down, or so stoned where you can't close your eyes because then everything's spinning. Like I want to just be like when I'm working, I want to just be like that motivated, like awake, not anxiety stoned. And that could be depending on what type of strains you're smoking. Like people like sativa, indica, and I think at the end of the day, it's really like THC levels. Um, Not, of course, I want the strongest hash. That's what I like smoking. It's fun. Um, but I would love to like just, I kind of like terpenes more than THC. Like I feel like THC just happens. You get stoned no matter what. Like I love just being able to like indulge on the terpenes. I want to be a terpene glutton without smoking so much THC that I can't fucking, cook dinner or do the dishes. I got responsibilities here, so I can't be too stoned as I go to take another dab. I like to be a hypocrite throughout my podcast. That's how I stay. I don't know how I keep it together, I guess. Just keep like correcting myself and remember that, oh, what I just said, I did the opposite of. Did I clean this? I feel like I did. I feel like I just put this all in there. Been getting real forgetful, especially with these super strong rosin terps. Next Sunday sale, though, we have a new color blend that we've been working on. There's going to be 3 varieties of it, and I'm really excited to show it off. I think it's going to be really spacey, like gonna have some cosmic vibes to it for sure. I have a giveaway that I'll be doing coming up. I know I've been talking about a giveaway for like 3 episodes. I've been running into some issues making the giant piece. I'm still gonna do it. I hope it happens before the end of the year. That's the goal. I'll make it happen before the end of the year. But there's a smaller giveaway I'm gonna do. I'm just waiting for the Lotus White to get here. There's a color I want, or actually I need to do the giveaway with Lotus White, because I'm gonna make a RBR to match like this fucking all white Ridge wallet I have to give away. So we'll do that on the Instagram here. And then we'll probably do another smaller giveaway here on the podcast when the new year starts, and try to get back on track to our consistency now, like, cause like tomorrow I go to a funeral. I'll only be gone a couple days. Get back to like tightening up the ship, get everything back on track here at Bearmount Studios. That includes like podcast, everything. It's time to tighten back up. It's been a very emotional year. It's still very emotional right now. It's intense, but I know that everything is temporary. So, and we all lose people. So if anything, it just makes me feel closer to people that maybe I'm fucking strangers with a lot of the time. Like when you're feeling something really real and emotional that we all go through when you lose someone, then you can see other people and you see someone that's being a dickhead in their car or someone that's like maybe like just acting a certain way and you're like, man, maybe they're going through some shit. Maybe they just lost someone. Like, because we all have things we go through. Not trying to justify or give someone an excuse for being a shit person, because there are shit people out there. But just more trying to be more conscious of it myself as I deal with things personally. So, man, I love this Sunstone. I just wish that next one I make, I'm just gonna check and make sure like this mix just didn't come out exactly how I wanted it either. I love the function on it and the look of it though, like glows orange. Beautiful piece. It's just I find myself getting more and more picky, or maybe I'm getting more educated on glass. The more I do it, so I'm starting to like learn more and be like more picky about certain stuff in the prep and shit. So this one stayed with me. Got damaged during shipping on the mouthpiece, and then I also noticed like some things I didn't really like about it. But yeah, learning. I've broken so much glass lately. Holy shit. Those bubblers are so humbling. The big clear ones I make. My God. It's a simple design, but it's just so big that it's like I'm like still learning how to keep the whole thing like evenly heated so it doesn't explode when I fucking put it in the kiln. Right now I'm breaking like probably I would say if I make 3 of them I'm breaking one. So like I'm breaking 1 out of 3 right now. So if I'm making 3 I'm only gonna have 2 done. It's lame. It's okay though. That's what I'm saying. It's humbling. It's a learning experience, which got to keep having those so I can keep growing. Man, it doesn't get better than that green dot. Holy shit. Gosh. The flavor. I feel so lucky I get to smoke this level of hash. Just so clean and terpy. If you guys are ever visiting Colorado, try to find a dispensary with some of the Green Dot Live rosin. And any flavor you get from them is going to be fire. Especially their garlic and OG terps. They fucking kill it on that. Wow. A lot of work ahead of me, but I think it's like what's been like really keeping my mental sanity lately so that I can be there for my lady is like being so driven and overloaded with work, but it's like I'm doing it to myself. Like I'm loading myself up with work and just trying to crush and staying up super late again. Been doing live videos every night around midnight, or sometimes like 11:45, sometimes 12:30, but it's somewhere around midnight on Instagram, and then we go over to Twitch after. It's been fun. Been connecting with people again, the live videos on Instagram, trying to get back to where I was and what I was doing a year ago before shit hit the fan with family, and then a couple years ago when the pandy started. I mean, can you guys believe this March coming up is going to be the 2-year of this fucking crazy pandy? As parents, it's scary because you're like, man, time's going by really quick. And you're also, as parents, you're scared because you're like, fuck, hopefully this stuff like can get like resolved in like a healthy, safe way where, because our kids, like, fuck, dude, like, I want, the things I never expected when I had my daughter, this is one I never expected was this whole pandy thing. I really didn't. and I won't talk about this much, and I've never really talked about this on the podcast. I've been really good about it, just like ignoring as the world is on fire. I'm just like, we're over here doing weed in my garage, everything's fine. But as parents, it's like we want normal shit for our kids. I feel like most of us do anyways. Like I want my kid to like be at a park and not feel like, oh, is that kid sick? Or is, I don't want her to even, I don't want her to feel weird about things, or like I want movie theaters and like to go, like, cause that's what I do with my dad when I was a kid. Cause it was like how like we would go do things. We go to the movies together, and I wanted to do that with my daughter, and I still can. But now it's like it feels weird to me. But then when I realized the other day, I was like, none of this is weird to her. Just like when she was born, weed was legal in Colorado. Weed's always been legal in her life. So like the world she lives in isn't weird. It's awesome. It's fun. Like this is all normal to her. Like what's normal and not normal is all in our own perspective of where we're living and what we've past experiences we have. So it's like I'm like putting my own emotions in my daughter and like worrying that like she's experiencing life in a certain way when I'm like really just trying. I'm painting a picture with my own perspective that's just it's just not accurate to whatever she's experiencing. Because kids like with kids they already come out going it is what it is, and they just kind of have fun where they are as long as like they have like loving people around them. It's it's what it is. They make the best of it. They can have fun with like anything, like just like jumping over cracks on a broken sidewalk even when there's no toys or anything. It's like they can find fun. It's like it's up to the parents to not push a perspective on them that paints this world that's darker than it necessarily needs to be. So worried about the pandemic a bunch with my kiddo, but now I'm just like, you know what, like as long as I keep positive and I'm there for her, like her perspective's going to be what it is. I can't sit there and try to control it or assume I know what it is, because I don't assume anything. I try not to, or I try to be aware anyways. So this is a different episode this week. Just mostly smoking hash, talking about terps a little bit, life. It's a little bit of everything, but I needed a rant today. I'm about to go out of town. I wasn't even going to do a podcast this week because of the funeral and going out of town, but I was like, you know what? Like, let's start getting back to our rhythm again so that when January hits, we can, like, start doing this right again. And, in my head, the only person that hasn't been doing it right is me. I just feel like I've been so off. It's been missing tons of episodes because having to go out of town and just shit going on. It's just been nuts. But I want to get dialed back in again. So we're going to try. And that's all we can do, I'm trying to debate if I want another dab on that, like, nano. You want to call it a micro EHJ. I only made a few nanos. The nano, or if I just want to fucking keep shredding this double diffused. Fucking exhausted, though, folks. I really do. One thing about going out of town is I'm going to get some rest, probably, I'm hoping. As long as my kiddos and good. Because if I can't work, I'll just go to sleep early. Like, I'll do it. No problem. Especially with how fucking much I've been crushing lately. So I'm trying to find the positives even in this like trip that I have to do that's like, a kind of like a bummer. So hopefully I get some rest. So when I come back from this 2-3 day thing, I'm just going to be able to fucking crush and get ready for like a big Christmas drop where we can offer a bunch of different shit. And God, that last dab, really, I wish I had my other glasses on because I just want to close my eyes and talk. That's how stoned I am. Holy crap. The hash, the quality of it these days, I swear, I do wish there was like same level of terpenes and quality, a little bit lower THC so I could keep smoking it. Like, and just, I don't know, just indulge on the terpenes mostly. But yeah, trying to find the positives and everything. I think I'm going to have like some pizza from one of the old pizza spots I used to go to. Let's see if it's still good. You ever go back to something you haven't had in years and you're like hyping up your family, like this shit's fucking fire. You bring them there and you go there and it sucks. You're like, what the fuck happened? This was so good when I was younger. I really hope that doesn't happen. I haven't been back in years, so who knows. Like, I feel like a lot of restaurants got fucked up from the pandemic and they had to now order lower quality ingredients in order to compensate for losses during the pandemic. So to make it might be lower quality ingredients for a couple years as they recoup and try to rebuild their businesses. Not everyone. I just feel like there's certain places I've gone in Colorado and I'm like, damn, this used to be higher quality before the pandy happened, or maybe they lost their chef or something. Either way, there's a difference with some spots. Some places are even better now because they've like stepped it up. They're like, we got to crush. So I'm not saying every place. I'm just saying I've noticed at some places, but I'm hoping it doesn't happen to my local pizza spot. Not even really local. It's just a spot in Skinny Atlas that it's pretty good. Um, and there's a spot in Syracuse, but I don't know if I'll go to that. I don't even want to go to Syracuse at all. I'm gonna drive right around it. Like I'm landing in Syracuse, but I'm gonna drive right around it. I'm gonna avoid going anywhere near it. Um, God, I hate New York. New York City is pretty cool. It was fun living there. I felt like I was living in a fucking movie when I lived in New York City. I was like, I am poor, but I feel like I live in a movie. Like there's famous people on the subway. Like what is happening? Like I'm like skateboarding. There's like pro skaters at the skate park. Like I'm just like smoking weed under this bridge. I feel like I'm in Hey Arnold. I'm hanging out on a stoop, drinking a fucking 40. What's happening? New York City was fun. Upstate New York is not. Upstate New York is depressing. It's people who are being sucked dry with for with taxes and like low quality and low earnings to pay for New York City. If New York City wasn't attached to upstate New York, I bet upstate New York would be doing a little bit better, honestly. Wasn't there like a plan back in the day for like upstate New York to be like called like New Amsterdam and then New York City would stay New York City? They would just like separate as their own like separate thing. I don't know. I might be making that up. Sometimes like it's gotten to the point now where I've been smoking hash for over 10 years. So like I'm like a lot of the times I'm like, is this some shit I heard on like some weird YouTube video or I made up in my head years ago and now it's been so long that I believe it's fact. Almost like when someone makes up a story and then it becomes legend, then it becomes, fact and science or whatever pattern it goes in. Like I'm like, is this what's happening? Who knows? But maybe that's a real thing. Where are we even fucking at, Aisha? 40? Nice. What is that? We got it's a garbage truck. You guys won't even hear that. But yeah, when I get back, I'm gonna give this bubbler another shot. This giant bubbler I'm trying to make for the giveaway. See, actually, here my third attempt on the giant bubbler I'm working on. I'll just tell you guys in the podcast. There's only a handful of you that listen that like follow the Instagram heavily too. It seems like there's like different people that follow the podcast and the Instagram. It's weird. Um, but this bubbler that I'm working on, trying to make to give away. I now that it's the third attempt, I'm making it harder on myself because I'm like, if I'm gonna try this again, like I'm gonna do one more thing. So I want it to be the giant bubbler, right? That like super tall, like 4 foot tall bubbler, like big, tall, skinny thing. And then right at the top where the mouthpiece is, I just want to have a little double bubbler chamber than the mouthpiece. So it's like this super tall, huge, ridiculous bubbler chamber. At the top, there's just like one more perk, and then the mouthpiece. So it just like looks absurd. Like I want to make something just really absurd, because a lot of people, I mean, a lot of the comments it's gonna get are gonna be like, "Oh, how do you clean it?" or like, "What's the point?" or "That's stupid," or whatever. But to me, I'm like, I made this for you to say that because you thought I got in your brain with this. You're like, you thought about how dumb is this? Like, why would you even do that? It's stupid. How do you clean it? My cat would break that immediately. All the things that people that don't even follow me say. I noticed that anytime someone leaves a comment like that, I'm like, oh, they don't even follow me. They just saw something on the internet and they're like, I need to give my opinion on this, and I love that. That's someone that lives probably maybe a good life because they're just like so unaware. They're just so free. That's what I see. I see that ignorance is bliss thing, and I'm like, oh, you're living. I love that. I want to live that free. I overthink everything. I used to overthink this podcast a lot. I'd be like, what did I say? And now I'm just like, I'm just being myself and hanging out. Like people either gonna like you or they don't. I want to. Rare Extracts wants to come on again though, because he's like, dude, all we did last time was like catch up. He's like, I want to talk hash with you. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. So I gotta get back to him, but I think we're gonna do another episode with Rare. I smoked through his hash so quick after he left though, because it was so fire. Um, yeah, my sinuses were acting up when I had it though, so I feel like I couldn't like get to fully enjoy it. I feel like I got to taste the terps, so didn't get to fully taste it. It's almost like you go to your favorite restaurant with like some fucking sinus shit going on, and you taste your favorite dish, and you're like, it tastes good still, but like I know what it's supposed to taste like, and I feel like I'm missing out because my receptors are a little blocked up. Um, but the sinus shit's all gone now, so I'm like ready. I'm like, dude, let's get terpy again, and like let's really get into these terp profiles and talk about genetics and more about growing. Because I love talking growing and fucking genetics and shit. I like talking glass. It's hard. It's hard to find a lot of people that want to talk about that stuff though. I'll also talk about conspiracy shit or like pseudoscience or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'll talk about whatever. But these days, I don't know. I tried to talk to my veterinarian the other day. I think I might have even told you guys this because it happened not even the other day. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I tried to talk to him about like I went to the vet way too high, and I I shouldn't have done it because I never talk to people about anything. I'm usually just polite, quiet, keep to myself, just sit there and whatever. Like I'm not like trying to make friends or even talk to anyone. I'm just like friendly and quiet. Well, this day, like I felt like, like I don't know, I just felt good. I think I watched a podcast and I felt like I knew way too much about something that I know nothing about. But I think I tried to make sense of it to like my fucking vet. And he's like sitting there like reading through charts for Bane. And because Bane has to get this allergy shot like every 4 weeks because he has this like weird allergy that like gives him like stomach problems. It's like a German Shepherd thing, but they have this like medicine he gets and it fixed it for him, so he's good now, which is awesome because for years he was fucked. But yeah, so my vet's sitting there going through charts, getting like trying to get everything ready to like go over things with me and talk to me, and he like said something about like how dogs perceive things, and then for some reason I felt the need to try to regurgitate something I heard on a podcast and say how like we might not know how animals necessarily perceive things. Like I started going like, what if whales are like fourth dimensional beings, and like we see a whale swimming in the ocean, but like really it's like this other being in a fourth dimension, like living this whole other life. It's just we can only see their third dimensional body. And I was like, maybe that's why they're so smart. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, but I'll be honest with you. He's like, everything you just said would pretty much go against my faith. So I don't know if I'd be into that. And I'm like, whoa. And then I realized, I was like, Evan, you're in the world and you smoke too much weed. Like, no one has the time you have to sit around and like just like listen to things while you're blowing glass. Like other people have to like talk to customers and shit. I'm just way too in my own world. It was bad. I just got too stoned before I went to the vet. It happens, you know. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It was a stressful day. It was like my cat was having some shit going on. And I was like, dude, should I bring the cat to the vet with me? And the cat was fine, but I just brought Bane by himself because I really can't have them both in the car at the same time because their breath together, terrible. Okay, let's warm this up. They actually love each other very much. It's not like they fight or anything. It's too much to handle. I always get worried about like Bane getting scared and like running into traffic or something because he like listens good like when you're in public and stays with you. He's very loyal. Like you could leave the door open in the house and Bane wouldn't run away. He would just sit at the door and guard it. But I do worry about him like getting scared and like jumping or like running toward not looking because he's kind of goofy. It's big dope. But yeah, so I'm always like when I bring Bane to the vet or anything, I'm like I want to give Bane 100% of my focus for his safety and for mine. I just want to protect my buddy. So that's why I don't like to bring the cats when I bring him. But I've done it before. It's challenging. So besides the big bubbler, which is just like a fun giveaway thing, I would like to do a couple clear double bubblers for the last like big Sunday sale for the year. I want to do just a couple fun things in it on top of the quantities of clear. It's going to be, I'm not going to do anything like big and giant, like expensive pieces for this last Sunday sale. It's going to be like lots of clear, like lots of micros and mini double diffuse and just the more affordable price range stuff. And then a few unique things that are affordable, like clear double bubblers, like some like fun stuff. I'm trying to get like more pieces to people, especially if they're in a lower price range. They're more feasible for it to be a gift for like husband or wife or whatever, or something, or best friend. Like, I don't know. Just saying. So we'll announce the date for that soon, but it's going to be sometime in the beginning of December. That way we can get everything shipped before Christmas. I kind of want to do it like right in the beginning of December, get everything shipped so we have like a couple weeks for everything to get there on time. But yeah, we're going to figure it out. I'll let you guys know here soon. I'm so excited for Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite days of the year, not because of like anything with the holiday or whatever, but it's like the one day of the year that like I think I like really take off, like because I like to cook the meal for everybody, like at least the turkey, and then my wife does the gravy. We got this whole thing we do. It's fun. We've been doing Thanksgiving together since we were 15 years old. So I'm 31 now. So I've been doing Thanksgiving with my wife for I've done more Thanksgivings with my wife than maybe not my parents yet. She's gonna beat them soon, but still, like it's kind of crazy to think about. But it's one of my favorite holidays. And like I said, not because like anything historical or meaning to it. It's just because there's some nostalgia there of like cooking the meal, and we like just watch like old like stupid movies and shit. And I love watching the old movies now because you watch them and you see like the world used to be so different just even 10, 15 years ago. Like it's so crazy. Like, you watch old movies, you're like, you couldn't make this movie, and this is from 2005. You couldn't make this now. You can't say any of these words. Like, it just seemed like such a simpler time. Things seem so complicated now, and I hope that things get simpler soon, so that everyone can stop like just being mad at each other and shit. Because I think a lot of people are just confused. They just don't. They're just mad at each other. They don't know why they're mad. They're like, I just don't understand. Like I don't know. Because I don't understand this world right now is so complicated. I'm like, who's the supervillain? Like, who's the fucking? I don't know who to even like look. To, who's the bad one? Like, it seems like we got like a 10 or 20 supervillains. We got no superheroes. Like what the fuck is going on right now? But like anything, everything is temporary. So I'm sure we'll have some sort of change, or maybe we'll just be dealing with this crazy world for a bit. But still, the best time to live. I mean, 100 years ago sucked, bad, real bad. Like people were like using horrible things to treat their like medical problems, like giving themselves other like problems like from whatever they I don't know. I guess we're doing the same thing nowadays. A lot of our medicine has horrible side effects. My point is 100 years ago just seemed like really gnarly. It seems like a lot harder of a time to live. Like especially for like women, especially having babies in the 19 like 20s. Seemed like there's not as much available medical shit. I don't know, it just seems dangerous. Okay, terps. This mic real quick. Ooh, those fucking blazers get hot, don't they? Goodness. Yeah, that laser cat's fire too, but I love that fatso. Too, man. So good. Boy. Yeah, but I hope you guys are gonna have a fucking good holiday or got something planned. Hopefully this year's semi-normal for some families that are still like together and big families and stuff. My family's fucking all over the place, so we just don't have that big family anymore. Um, But yeah, I hope you guys are able to get together, family and shit. I love fucking Thanksgiving. My wife makes the most fire apple pie. I'm definitely hoping the giveaway I can do around like Black Friday or Thanksgiving. I want to do the giveaway before Christmas too, so people have that. Whoever wins it has a piece before Christmas. So basically, once I get home and get the rest of these pieces shipped, I'm gonna give the giveaway piece another shot. I'm hoping third time's the charm, pull it off, and then I'm gonna get into the next big Sunday sale pieces and get everything put together so that we can have that large Sunday sale before the end of the year. And then next year, I'm not sure what our plan is. I'm not sure like how we're gonna do our drops and stuff. We're probably still gonna have Sunday sales, but like I might, depending on the social climate and how the world is, I might start doing some in-store drops again. I'll probably most likely start with one in Denver, um, and like that way people can like come hang out, like have it some sort of an event. And I'll probably be doing these with shops, so I'll start getting back to somewhat of a normal schedule of drops and stuff. But I just don't want to set anything in stone because we have to like just. I just want to see where everything's at. Definitely want to do at least a couple in-store drops next year just so I can like see some people. But I want to make sure that like there's not like weird fucking shit happening. I guess there's always weird shit happening, especially if you watch too much weird shit on the internet. Um, but if you avoid watching all the weird shit on the internet and you just stay in your little bubble, everything's fine. So I try to make sure I don't veer too far off my path of everything's fine because it's easy to fall down those rabbit holes of crazy fucking videos and shit on YouTube and stuff. And you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Yeah, I don't know. everyone's got to have a passion, right? Got to be into something. But yeah, don't forget to check out bmsglass.com. Sign up for that newsletter. Appreciate anyone that made it this far and hung out. Today was just a day of venting, trying to decompress, relax, get ready for a kind of stressful trip for me. Remember this podcast, this is like almost like a lifestyle thing too, where I talk about like my day to day and what like we're dealing with. This is something like my wife told me the other day. She can't wait to, she's like, someday I'm going to watch all your podcasts. Like she hasn't watched them. She like gets nervous too or something. I'm not sure. She hasn't seen any of them, I don't think. Um, but she's like, someday I'm gonna sit down and like watch them, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna be like, it's gonna be so weird. But what a cool like thing that I'll be able to have for my like daughter and my wife. Even though, yeah, I'm sitting here like smoking weed and just ranting, but that's me being real. I'm being myself. I'm just being who I am, and to have that like recorded for the people that you love, like this is like so much like time and just like dealing with things day to day. This is like real shit. And this is like a weird path and like a definitely, I would say definitely an obscure like way to like make money in a craft in, as like a pipe maker. But the world's a weird obscure place, so I think there's a place for everybody to fit in, especially with how many people are on the planet these days. We all seem to find like-minded people, and enough of us with the internet especially, holy cow, connects us all. It's crazy. There wouldn't be like all this creativity nowadays and all these different ideas without the internet. So, you know, there's good and bad parts of the internet, good and bad ideas, but that's part of it. Holy shit, I'm so stoned, guys. I don't even know. I think I only did, 4 dabs, maybe, something. I was just completely sober. It's just over here. He's like, man, this guy, he did too much. All right. Appreciate everybody. Don't forget to check out bmsglass.com. Oh, I can't even talk, like I said, and sign up for that newsletter so you can get email updates. Wish I wore my other glasses today. Would have put them down in about a half hour. This is the What's Up Everybody podcast, episode 77. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.